UTME physics is not about being naturally smart. It's about knowing what to focus on. I went from scoring 79 in my first jam to getting 98 in my second jam, and this is the exact strategy I used. Hi, my name is Olakada Martha, and my goal is very simple to help anyone that watches my video to get their dream jam score. So if this resonates with you, kindly like and subscribe for more videos like this. And let's get right into this video.
First of all, I unlearned all the negative thoughts I had about physics. You see, it doesn't matter if you're so bad at physics, just forget about all the negative things that you have heard about physics, how physics is hard. If anybody can do it, you can do it. This made me to understand that physics is not a subject that I will just read today and dump it, and next time I'll carry my textbook again. It's like next month or next week. Physics is not that kind of subject. It's a subject that requires you to consistently refresh your memory on what you have read to be able to understand it. The second thing I did is that I understood that physics is 70% calculation, which means that I need basic knowledge on mathematics. Topics like simultaneous equation, standard forms, trigonometry, fractions, and many other basic topics. I had to understand them because I would need them to be able to solve physics questions. This understanding that physics is more of calculation made me to know and to see the relevance of understanding conversions of units, because physics questions comes with units. If you don't understand units, you're not really going to do well, because in the exam hall no one is going to give you the back of a book to be able to check whether 10 cm is blah 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 or 100 cm is equal to how many meters and all those stuff. You have to know it in your head, you have to understand it. Adding to this, one thing to also take note is that all these things like sine 60, all these special angles, you need to know them in your head. You need to know their fractional equivalent and also their like decimal equivalents. Like sine 30 is 0.5 and it's also 1 over 2. Things like that, you need to know them in your head. Just write them down in place and memorize every single thing about the special angles. Next thing I have here is that I aim to understand the concept rather than cramming. I understood that when I got 79, I just read physics anytime I wanted to read it. I didn't really give it much time. Uh, then I told myself the next time I was writing them that I'm going to understand the concept in everything I do. I'm going to understand the reason why everything in physics is done. And this is the basics that makes physics simple. With this understanding, I fixed all my weak foundational topics. All the topics that are basic that I needed to understand, topics like dimensional analysis, topics like units, all those basic topics that I needed to understand, I fixed every single one of them. For example, it was light for me. I know I didn't understand light. That topic used to, like, I always failed it. I never understood it. I told myself that this topic, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to finish you. No matter what, you're giving yourself an excuse for a topic you know that if you read it, you understand it. You read, watch videos, you ask someone to explain to you, you ask ChatGPT, you ask this person, answer, you will understand that topic. You know that topic that is giving you problems. It's not about skipping it, it's not about skipping that topic and going to the other similar topics you understand. It's about facing those topics that are giving you problems, because those topics are actually simple. It's just that you are not giving them the necessary time and you have not really understood the concept about every single thing in that topic. I learned how to derive formulas instead of just cramming them. This habits will make you to be able to derive the formulas even when you forget them. You'll be able to know why this formula was formed. You're able to know that this formula can be, and this unit can be another unit for another thing. Understanding this can make physics a lot more easier for you, because you know the concept, you know the basics, you know everything. why that formula was formed. You know why it's time that is here. You know why it's force that is here. You understand. You don't just take it because they gave you a formula. You understand does this formula, why does this formula work? Try to derive it on your own. Try to derive it. That's why you have to understand that topic, dimensional analysis, to really help you to be able to derive formulas by yourself. When I wrote my first JAMB and I got 79, I told myself that I'm not going to read the same way I read. I'm not going to study physics the same way I study physics. This made me to understand that I have to know why everything in physics is the way it is. It didn't mean that I finished the whole syllabus. It meant that I did everything I could do to my best abilities without comparing myself with another person, understanding my strengths. You can know everything even if you don't have someone around you. We don't have a teacher. We are in a digital age when we have AI. So I use ChatGPT or the AI in test reader to ask it question. So when I knew about this prompt, it really changed everything and my dependence on humans to explain to me. If I don't understand why force is equals to mass times and acceleration, I will ask ChatGPT, please explain why force is equals to mass times acceleration as if I am 5 years old. Then explain it to me technically, that means with my own age. Then apply it to real life activities and explain everything. And even if you don't understand when ChatGPT gives you the answer, that exact part you don't understand, explain it to me. Use real life examples, make it very simple for me, break it down and give me questions. This time you have no excuse to fail. You can know the reason behind every single thing. ChatGPT, why is standard form like this? What are ways that I can use to solve questions faster? What are shortcuts? And all these kind of things. You can ask AI all these things instead of using our devices for the wrong use. You can actually make use of them for our benefits. The next thing I have here is that I worked on speed and not just accuracy. Story time. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little story about me. So, right from my primary school days, I've always been bad at keeping to time. It has been haunting me from primary school, secondary school. I've always been the last person to submit. People think that I'm doing it purposely, but they don't know that it's actually a bad habit that I formed, or maybe just a part of me. But I knew that as long as I was slow, I could be fast. So what did I do? I practiced with CBT and I timed myself whenever I practice. Instead of using 2 hours that JAMB gave me, I practice with 1 hour 30 minutes, especially with a subject like physics. I give myself not less than, let's say, 20 minutes to solve my physics, and when I'm done, I move on to the next subject, whether I'm done with it or not. Because if I'm done with the other topics, if I'm done with the other subjects, I can then come back to physics. So when I was writing my journal, after all these 1 hour 30 minute practice, when I read my journal, I told myself that I'm going to do physics first because it will take me more time. Then when I do physics, I will be calm down. I will calm down and I will do other ones. As I just started physics, number one, I don't know the answer. Number two, I don't know the answer. Number three, number four, I don't know the answer because I practice and I created that environment of pressure when I was preparing for my exams. That made me to stop doing physics. I stopped that physics at that moment and I went to another subject in the examination. When I was then done with all the other subjects, then I came back to physics. By that time, I had calmed down. If I had stayed on that physics, I would have failed the exam. I wouldn't have done as much as I did because I would have focused on the part that gave me pressure, that gave me tension, and making me to what? To perform less. So what I'm saying here is that when you start writing the exam, Start with the simple ones, then move to the hard one. Even if you start with anyone, once you spend more than 60 seconds on the question, you're already too late. Once you start, you do very fast. You move on to the next one. It does not matter if you know, if you like solve heaven and earth on one particular question and you don't move on, the time you're meant to use to solve the simple questions and get your same mark and get the same mark, you're going to waste it on one question and you're going to fail the other simple ones. So, in essence, what I'm saying is that focus on the simple question first. Skip all the hard question. Any question that's making you think too much, skip it. When you're done with all the simple questions, come back to the hard ones. By that time, your mind will have calmed down. Then when you open your eyes to solve that hard question, you just see that everything will start flowing. JAMB is not testing you on just your accuracy. They don't care if you spend 6 months, 8 months preparing for the exam. If you can't keep to time, it doesn't really matter. No one cares. You're going to come out and say, if they give me more time, I would have done well. But that's what you still say this year. Next year, you write JAMB again, you say it. If you want to do very well, you have to be conscious about your time. JAMB is not just about accuracy, it's about speed and accuracy. Next thing I have here is that I had a formula note. A note where I wrote down every single formula that was hard for me to remember. That's some formula like force equals to mass times acceleration. Do you need that? That's something very simple. All those complicated formulas and formulas you can easily forget, those are the ones you write on your formula notes so you won't have something too long. You can just get a very tiny note that you can just write everything. When other people are making noise in your class, when you are in the bus going home, when you are waiting for a program that has not started, you can pick out that little note and just be going through it. This is a form of active recall and a form of memorization. It will help you to transfer those formulas from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. This is what will make you, when you see that question, immediately you can deliver that formula because what you have installed that formula to your long-term memory. The next thing I did, which can never be overemphasized, is that I practice and practice and practice. Whenever I had the time, I practice, no matter what. Okay, don't give yourself an excuse for this. You have to practice. Practicing past questions is a form of active recall. It tests you to see if you have really understood what you read. I recommend the book All Inclusive Calculations in Physics. That book, I promise you that if you can finish that book, you will not fail physics. I promise you. If you can not just finish it, because I know someone that finished it and didn't do well, but not just finishing the book, just to finish, don't rush, finish it. Like to understand why every single thing in that book is what it is. And because it's written by humans, definitely there are going to be mistakes. But that's why you have to understand the concept when you read. When you read, then apply it in that textbook. So a bonus tip I'm going to give you in this video, because if I say physics is 70% calculation, what about the theory part? I'm not saying that you should forsake the theory part. The reason why I put in my all into calculation was because I knew that my weakness was calculation, not with theory. So the reason why you might not be doing well in calculations is because of you don't understand the basics. That's the concept of the theory part. So you can use the JAM recommended textbook, you can download them online, you don't really need to have them physically. Or you can borrow from someone. You know what you do to get those textbooks. Stop giving yourself excuses. Read that textbook. Understand why everything in that textbook is what it is. So that when you see a mistake in any past question you are using, you can be able to notice. Because if you just use past questions, these are humans, they make mistakes. You'll be able to know that this is a mistake. This is not the concept. This is not how this thing is meant to be. You don't just cram everything you see in past questions. You understand why. That's why you have to solve questions before you check the answers. So that you have your own that this is why I solved this question. I know why I did this. So if this answer does not tally, why does there were times I'll be solving past questions. I'm seeing the answer. I say I don't agree with this answer. Not because I didn't have anybody around me. Let's say I was in the library studying. This answer is not correct. I don't believe it because what I read in this book, this is not the concept. This is not the basics. So I'm not going to believe what this answer thing is telling me. I'm not believing it until I then analyze it with my own and with that one, or ask another person, please solve this question and explain to me why this thing is like this. Then, if I'm not correct, they will explain to me. I will say, oh, I will understand it more because I try to relate what I knew with the question before I check the answer. But when I check the answer, I will not reason like that. So there is a need for you to read the textbook first before you solve any particular question because it makes you to understand it. So in case there's a mistake, you'll be able to note it immediately. I also did all forms of past questions. I did both CBT and like hard copy past question, but because I knew time management was my problem, so I did more of CBT. And I will advise you to do more of CBT, especially the CBT app, Test Driller, because that's how your exam is going to come. If you don't know the units, you don't know how to convert it, if you don't know sine, cosine, standard forms, in your head when you are doing your CBT practice in your house, in your school, wherever you are, in the market, I don't care. If you don't know it when you're doing that question, if you are always flipping to the back of the book to check the unit conversions, if you are always using that calculator, scientific calculator, you're wasting your time because you are deceiving yourself in the exam. Ask yourself, will I have this book that I'm checking the back when I'm doing CBT past question? You have to create an environment that is similar to that of JAMB so that when you are under pressure in the exam, your brain will already be used to it. I told you of how I planned that I was going to do physics first, but because of I saw that number one, number two, number three, number four, I didn't know the answer. So I had to switch to another. So if I was not constantly doing past questions, especially CBT with the test drill app, how do you think I would have been able to do that? You have to keep on practicing. You might say you don't have time, but that 10 minutes that you can use to solve 10 questions, that 20 minutes that you can use to solve 20 questions, that you can use to solve 15 questions, it will accumulate over time, and that is what will differentiate you from those people that are scrolling on their phones, those people that are watching movies with their time, and those that are actually doing the right thing. It's not about solving 200 questions in a day, it's about doing little by little and doing the right thing. You can solve 200 questions a day and doing the right thing, that's very good. But you can solve 200 questions a day and you are just copying the answers from the back of the textbook. You're wasting your time. But when you understand why everything is how it is, you understand the concept behind every single question, and you're not just copying the answer, you are giving your reasons why you chose a particular answer in the option, then you will do exceedingly well. Bonus tip, you have time, you have what it takes to do what you're meant to do. You can even get 100 in physics UTME. If I can get 98, you can get 100. Bet on yourself, you can do it. I believe in you. If anybody called you you're good for nothing, forget about that. I believe in you. I know how it feels to practice a lot and find out that you score very low. I know how it feels to be overwhelmed with physics questions. And this is my story on how I got 79 in my first jam. And in my next jam, with this strategy I have shown to you today and I've told you, this is how I got to 98. When I saw the score, I was happy. But I knew the effort I put into it. You don't need to compare yourself with anybody. You can start with the little you have. And with this 21st century, where we have free resources everywhere, there are opportunities everywhere, and we have no excuse anymore for failing. So with this, I leave you with this. I cannot conclude this video without saying that I relied on God. Without God, I wouldn't have gotten this score. The Holy Spirit was my friend. He was my everything during this preparation. I remember times when I couldn't understand and I told him, Holy Spirit, please teach me. He was there. And instantly, it's as if my brain was just opened. I understood every single thing that I read. But one thing I learned is that the Holy Spirit does not just work in a particular way. Don't expect Him to work in that same way He worked last year, that same way He worked. And at the time I didn't understand also, as I was solving a question in class during break time. And I said, Holy Spirit, please teach me this particular thing. I don't understand. Then I just turned. I saw somebody, I felt a strong urge in me to ask that my friend to explain it to me. So I asked her, please, can you explain this thing to me? And she explained it. Immediately. I understood. He will not come down from heaven to do it. He has put everything right inside of you to do it. That's what I have for you in this video. If you're thinking about creating a UTME plan, in this video up, I explained in details on how to create a UTME plan. If you want to hear the story and the steps I took on how I moved from 330 and 350, yes, how I got above 300 twice. In this video here, you will see how I got 300, above 300 twice. And any difficulty you are having in your preparation for this UTME, kindly drop it in the comment section and I will attend to you. With this, I think we have come to the end of this video. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos like this. Bye!